Hey there, I'm Aki, and the devs just announced that there will be a Subnautica 3. If you haven't heard about that, check out the video in the top right. I also asked the Subnautica dev about it and he confirmed it, so yes, we are getting a third Subnautica. So I thought I'd make a video on what I would like to see in Subnautica 3 and also ask you guys about what you guys would like to see. So if there's anything I don't mention in the video, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, or just let me know what you think of my ideas. Now, some of these are mine and some of these are things I've seen under the video announcing that there will be a Subnautica 3, so I'll just combine all of those into one video to make it easier for, I guess, mainly the devs to see. So if you're not a dev, enjoy, and if you're a dev, make sure to take notes. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'll be listing these in the order from what I think is most likely to what is least likely for them to actually do. So the main thing I would love from a third Subnautica is to take the Subnautica core ideals and combine them with the improvements from Subnautica Below Zero. I feel like Below Zero is more of an experiment for the developers to see what they could do with Subnautica. And some of it worked out really well, and some of it didn't work out so well. For example, they have reduced the fear factor a lot in Below Zero. And most people, me included, didn't really like that. So the main thing I would like to have them do is to bring back the fear factor. Just try to bring back that feeling of absolute terror when you jump into the water. That's what we want. That doesn't just mean put in a ton of leviathans or make it super dangerous to be in the water, but for some reason I feel like Below Zero is just too bright and too vibrant, if that makes any sense. I know Subnautica had areas that were super bright and vibrant, but for the most part, you couldn't see anything, and that's what was terrifying. You knew there was something out there because your sonar told you, or because you heard a very silent roar in the distance, but you didn't know what it was. I think this clip from Jacksepticeye just displays exactly what I want from Subnautica.
What was that? What was it? Holy fuck! What is that thing? Oh, jeez! Oh, no! Ah! 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 I died! Oh, my fucking god! What was that fucking thing? Jesus Christ!
So, yeah, do more of that. Next up, we need more completely new creatures. Now, because it's Subnautica, its main attractions are, of course, the leviathans. But don't neglect smaller fish as well. Because, for example, the land on Below Zero just felt dead. We only had snow stalkers roaming around and ice worms. What do snow stalkers eat? And if they eat plants, then that's an ecosystem of 3 entities, which is a little too small if you ask me. And with completely new, I mean, don't kind of repurpose creatures from previous games. I mean, of course it's okay to bring back the iconic Peeper in a new variant, I would love to see that actually. But in Below Zero we had tons of other fish we've seen before. For example, the boomerang was back as well, and it just, I don't know, didn't really fit into the environment. You could also go crazy with their abilities, I mean, they're aliens. I loved what you did for the lily paddler, and more of that stuff would be amazing. Creatures with abilities also don't feel as just slapped on, if you know what I mean. The lava larvae in Subnautica are a perfect example of this. They have a cool ability, but aren't necessarily scary. They're just super interesting. So a mix of scary creatures, filler creatures, and super interesting creatures would be perfect. Next up, this is a big please from me. Please, I don't care what you do, but please, give us more base pieces. I would love for the base system to become more modular and especially multi-story. Imagine you have the rooms we have now, but instead of being able to add another room on top and having to go to the top with a ladder, you can just delete the ceiling/floor and have a massive room. And to go up, of course, you could now add stairs instead of ladders, which just would give everything a much grander feeling. And in that part, I know you were against weapons, but maybe implement that really old idea of creatures attacking bases and us having to defend ourselves. If we don't get weapons, we could still get some sort of shields or some sort of deterrent to stop creatures from attacking our base, and also make it interactive. Every now and then a creature will attack our base and we have to go there and defend it somehow. I would love something like that. Now next up, NPCs. I really liked what you did with Margaret and the other NPCs in Subnautica Below Zero, and you should definitely do more of that. I know some people didn't like that because it ruined the feeling of loneliness, but I mean, we had Subnautica 1 for that. Let's do something different now. Then again, I do get why people want Subnautica 1 again, but I really feel like loneliness wasn't the biggest factor as to why Subnautica was so good. And of course, more vehicles. In Subnautica 1, we had 3 vehicles, the Seamoth, the Cyclops, and the Exosuit. In Below Zero, we had the Exosuit and the Sea Truck, which was 1 less. I don't like that trend. Go back, please. I really love vehicles in Subnautica, and I would love to have a multitude of different submarines to choose from. Maybe submarines could have different purposes. We could have a mining submarine, we could have a submarine for traveling and living in, and we could have, I know again, combat, but whatever, a combat submarine. Of course, this would be probably the same with what the torpedo system was for the Seamoth, where you don't actually hurt the creatures, just swing them around and deter them with gasopod farts, or whatever. But just some sort of different vehicles instead of all equipping it into one vehicle. And of course, I would like bigger submarines. You know, the bigger the better. Staying on topic of bigger, a bigger map. I know you put a ton of love into the Subnautica and especially the Subnautica Below Zero map, but I feel like it would be even better if instead of paying attention to every single detail, you focused more on the big picture and just scaled everything up. It's okay if we have some areas that aren't really detailed and that just have a few plants and that's it, because that's what actual ocean is like too. But if you scale up the map, that gives us the ability to actually have a use for bigger submarines, and of course gives us the ability to put bigger Leviathans there because they actually have space to live now. Now last but not least, the most unlikely thing, I really don't think this is happening, but I think it would be super cool. Of course I'm talking about multiplayer. Yes, I brought it up, I know, we do have a Subnautica multiplayer mod, but that is incredibly buggy, and because of the lag in mod support in Subnautica, it's not really the kind of multiplayer experience most people want. What I'm thinking is Rust or Ark, but underwater. Wouldn't that be absolutely amazing? You could have a tribe, you could build an underwater empire, and fight with other players. And yes, of course, again, Subnautica is meant to not be focused on weapons, but it could also be focused on trading instead, or surviving, or, like I said, coming into play with Leviathans or other creatures attacking your base, defending your base together with other people. Stuff like that would be so cool to see, and I would really love to have that in the game. But those were all my ideas for Subnautica 3. If you guys have any other ones, make sure to let me know in the comments down below, and I might make another video on this. Now, huge shout out to my Aggie Code leaders on YouTube and Patreon, Callum Wally, Capital Clyde, Jeff the Sea Dragon, and Storm909. But for now, thank you very much for watching, I really hope you enjoyed it, and as always, I'll see you next time. Goodbye!